my weak points are the fact that I play a little of every instrument, but I don't play any instrument really well. I understand music. I can play a little, piano, organ. I can play guitars, bass, drums, saxophones, flutes, even little trumpet or harmonica, can sing. I do a little bit of everything, so I have no time to concentrate on one thing. But I enjoy to play a little of everything. I understand more of music. I understand more about... It's easy for me to write music for drums because I can play a little drums. I know what sounds good, But I would like to play one instrument very well, but I think it would be the violin or something like that. Not an electric guitar or something. There are too many good guitarists anyway. What I would really like most of all is to have a good voice, to sing well. I can only sing my songs. I would like to be able to sing other people's songs well, but I can't sing anyone else's songs. I can only sing my songs, and I do them okay, But that is the best gift. The best thing to be born with is a good voice, because you don't need electricity for the amplifier, You don't need to change the strings, It's there all the time. You can sing any time, in the room, in the bathroom, walking along the lake, wherever. That is the best gift for me is to sing. But I did not have that gift. I was not given the gift of a good voice, so I must struggle. You see. We all do what we're best at doing. The drummer is the best person to play the drums, so he does that. Pianist is the best pianist, so he plays piano. I write the songs because I'm the best at writing songs, and I sing them because I'm the only one who can sing at all. I work 15 hours a day. They work 8 hours a day, I work harder. I've learned to do more things. Maybe I enjoy it more too, I don't know. But certainly whatever they want to contribute, they can contribute. And everything that any of the guys in the group have ever written, if they've ever composed little pieces of music, everything that they've done has been used on Jethro Tull albums. But everything that I write doesn't get used, because I write so much music that there is only... I may have, at the moment, 17 or 18 new songs, but I can only use 10 of them on the next album. First of all, the reason Mick Abrahams left the group wasn't for musical reasons, really. It was because he did not want to work, and we wanted to work 6 nights a week, 7 nights a week. Mick, said, no, only 3 nights a week will I play concerts. So we had to find another guitarist. It wasn't for musical reasons, really.
But will you ever come back to the blues?
I don't think we've ever really left the feeling of blues. We still use that sort of a feeling, but without using the music of the blues. We don't play 12-bar blues arrangements. We don't play traditional blues, but we still use the same feeling, the emotion in the heart. Well, it's very, very nice of you to say that the show looks perfect. In fact, it's not perfect. Every night we make lots of mistakes. Sometimes I fall over, I don't stand on one leg, I lose my balance and fall, all sorts of things go wrong every night. But if it looks perfect, then that's great, then I must be successful if it looks good. But it isn't perfect. And all the things we do on stage are to do with, they all begin as improvisation. They're not planned, they're not rehearsed, they're not choreographed. It's not a ballet. We're not in show business. They're all spontaneous things. And the good things that we do spontaneously, we may do again the next night, and the night after, and the night after. Then they become part of the show. But they're not contrived. We don't sit down and think for hours about what we're going to do on stage. They're just things that happen. And the clothes are just, before a tour, maybe we'll say, let's get some more clothes, some new clothes. And everyone goes to tailors and just says, right, make me this. And it's just inspiration, if you like. You just say, I want this kind of a thing, make it for me. And 2 months later, the clothes arrive and you put them on and go on stage. But it's no more, it's only like going shopping. It's the same for me, except that I don't find the clothes I want in the shops, so I have to go to someone to make the clothes for me, a tailor. The clothes I wear, you see, are not serious. They're not real. They're fantasy clothes. And the audience know it's fantasy. It's not real. But maybe the clothes that David Bowie wears, they influence the kids to go out and buy clothes that look like David Bowie's clothes, because they're more ordinary suits, you know. I would have thought that Jethro Tull was one of the very few groups who are able to change every year the style of their music. It's easy for us to change because we're not afraid to change. We know that the public will accept change from us. But maybe it's harder for groups like Led Zeppelin or the Rolling Stones, who have such a definite style. And the public won't let them change. The public does not want the Rolling Stones to play anything other than a Rolling Stone sound. You know, it has to be like that. And therefore for them it's much harder, because they have to keep finding new songs that sound like the Rolling Stones. You know, I have much more freedom than most groups. We have a mobile studio, where we're not using here. We're just rehearsing here. We're not recording. We will be using the mobile studio in January again to record in Monte Carlo. And the last album, Minstrel in the Gallery, we did with our own studio, also in Monte Carlo. But in Brussels last week, we were using a different studio. We like to change, you know, go different places to record, different atmosphere. It's different here to Brussels, and it's different to London, and, you know, it's nice to keep moving on, doing 2 or 3 songs here and 2 or 3 songs there. And the different place makes you feel different, you know, different environment, different music. It's good. Different food. It is a very good studio. It is better than anyone else's, that's all. Because I know what goes into it, you know, I know every piece of equipment, you know. It's hard to write songs sitting in your own house, your own home, because there are better things to do when you're at home, you know, more fun things to do. And it's easier in a hotel to sit and write music, and we're here now to write and rehearse some new songs. So it's fine. It's different picture out the window, you know. Different mountains, different water, different music. First of all, it was merely a collection of songs about a variety of subjects. It's not a concept album. It's just 10 different songs. They're all songs that I wrote when I was by myself. They're more songs about me, you know, but they're not real. They're fantasy songs. They're songs about other people, but I sing them as if they're me. Do you understand? It's like being an actor. You pretend to be someone else. And but they're very personal sounding songs, very introverted songs, because I wrote them when I stayed in another country in a house for a month by myself. But this time when we're writing and rehearsing, it's different because, again, we're all together this time. The next album will be very different to Minstrel in the Gallery because we're all together to make the music again. Every album is different, you see. I like to make it a different way, to be somewhere else. Different approach. It's necessary. Yes, they will. Yes, well, actually, we have a new bass player. Jeffrey, the old bass player, has left the group too. He wants to paint an artist. He's changing his life to go away and live in Wales, in England, Britain, you know, but up in the mountains in a house that he has bought, and he wants to have a studio to paint. He's crazy. I mean, you know, in 2 years he will have no money left and he'll be starving, you know, hungry. But, you know, that's what he wants to do, so that's what he must do. So we have a new bass player. In some ways, yes. Not all. I'm very easygoing in some ways, and someone has to be responsible, you see. See, when I'm on stage every night and I'm standing at the front, you know, and the group stand a bit further back. If people don't like the music, it's me that they throw things at, you know. Or if we bring out a record and the record reviewers, the critics, don't like it, then it's me that they direct their criticism to. So I have to be responsible for all of the group and all of the music. I have to be responsible for choosing this hotel and choosing that place across the road to rehearse in. I have to be responsible for saying on the 1st of December we begin rehearsals, you know, 10 o'clock in the morning. Someone has to make those decisions, and I'm the one who makes them. Because if I left it to someone else, you know, the bass player or the drummer to make the decisions, then he would not make them. We would not do any rehearsal. We would be different kind of people, you see. I'm a natural leader. If I was in the army, I would be an officer, you know. I would be a nice officer, a good officer, kind to my men, but I would be an officer. I am a leader, you know. That's the way I am as a person. That's not bad, you know. I'm not a dictator, you know. I'm not a fascist, you know. I mean, I'm a nice guy, benevolent person. But I have to be responsible. I have to make decisions. I find most of the people in radio and television to be good, professional, you know, people, newsmen or critics or whatever. But in some of the newspapers, there are one or two newspapers which are very, their attitude towards music is not a responsible one. It's bad for everyone's music. And all of the writers on the staff, all of its writers, they really hate music. They really want to destroy music. They're all frustrated musicians themselves. They all played in groups and were bad musicians and could not earn a living. So they went to write about music, and their frustrations, their anger at music, not accepting them as musicians, has made them attack music, attack everyone's music. And it's not just me they dislike, but they also say, I mean, there's a guy on an ME who is in love with Mick Jagger. I mean, he'd do anything to be close to Mick Jagger, but because he can't be, he hates Mick Jagger. Do you see? It's a strange relationship, and he writes bad things all the time, even though, really, he wishes to be Mick Jagger. Do you see? It's a very complicated psychological problem. And there are people like that who write on the papers. Very young guys. You know, they're too young. They're not really responsible people. And their attitude is not professional. They hate Jethro Tull, they hate Procol Harum, they hate Steel Eye Span, they hate the groups that are really English. Very narrow policy. I think it's wrong. But, you know, that's only 10% of the journalists I hate. 90% are fine, good people, you know.